Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video.
Velma.
Who's your mommy?
And Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Let's go ahead and get started. We are now in downtown Coolsville's chat, and the Coolsville Museum is opening up a new exhibit. It's taken 2 years to get this exhibit ready, chat. And this particular wing of the museum is dedicated to Coolsville's favorite sons and daughters and dog, to the Mystery Incorporated gang, chat. The premier detectives, the premier private dicks of the United States of America. This museum exhibition, this opening, is in honor of them and their success as private detectives throughout the country, chat. And you see the fucking mystery van, but it's not the mystery van, chat. It's the mystery van limo. It's a goddamn SUV-looking limo, all dolled up, looking like the mystery van. And it parks out right in front of the red carpet, chat. And the mystery crew, they start walking out. You got fucking Fred. You got Daphne. They're a hot couple. They're smooching constantly throughout the film, chat. They're holding hands, interlocking fingers, chat, which is the most sexual thing a couple can do. I've been told. I think that's the most sexual thing a couple can do, chat. There's smooching, and then there's interlocking hand-holding fingers. That's it. And then they're all going up to the fans, chat. Fred, he's giving ascots to the ladies and all the guys who love ascots. You got Daphne. She has her little fans, chat. They're wearing shirts with her face on it. She's signing autographs. She has her very own contingent of neckbeards, chat, who have tattooed their Rubenesque bodies with the face of Daphne, chat. She is their idol, and she's like, please don't touch me, please. And she goes ahead and she leaves with Fred and stuff. They go into the museum, and then, chat, we're introduced to Velma. And listen, I'm gonna say, I don't know. This scene kind of didn't sit well with me because we go to Velma's fans and they're all like butch lesbian women. I'm like, all right, come on. I mean, they're all either butch lesbian women or they're all nerds. I'm like, oh, come on. It's going adhering to the stereotypes. I thought that was a little tasteless. And they're like, Velma, and they all have deep voice. Velma, we love you. And she's like, he's like, that's great. And she's like signing things. And like one of them takes the pen. This is just gross. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because she's saying, Velma, we love you. We love you, Velma. We love you. And they take the pen that she was holding the sign things with, and she starts sucking on it. I'm like, what? Where are we? What movie are we in? What the fuck is going on? I was very confused by that. I was like, okay, did James Gunn like, all right, now you're going to suck on the pen, all right? Please, at least give me the scene where the very butch lesbian woman is sucking on the pen. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, so already, I'm like, all right, here we go. Here we go. We're in for it now, chat. And she goes up into the museum, chat. But then, chat, we got the piece de resistance. The two guys, the duo you're waiting for. Fucking Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Chat. They walk out and they're seeing all their fans. Darkseid, they with the 5 minutes. She did the suck. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And they're walking out, and I love Shaggy's fans because they're just him. They're all these fucking stoners. I mean, their eyes are glazed over. They're all fucking pink because they've been smoking weed all day. They got food. Shaggy, man. How you doing, man? They all sound like, oh, Zoinks, your voice sounds really raspy. You need a lozenge? You're like, no, man, I don't need anything, man. It's like, okay. And you got Scooby's fans, and they're just dogs. They're just dogs, chat, and they have English subtitles of the dogs, what they're saying. And you have the jokes. It's like, oh, Scooby, sign my bowl. Scooby, wear my collar. Please take my collar. And you have the one bulldog who's saying, Scooby-Doo, sniff my ass. Please, Scooby-Doo, sniff my ass. I'm like, yep, James Gunn definitely wrote this. See, he has a fart fetish. Chat, I think we uncovered something. I don't mean to slander James Gunn, okay? I don't want to do that. You know, he's been through a lot, but be some credence to that fart fetish right there. But they go into the museum, chat, and we see all the exhibits. And we got all the costumes. That's the thing, chat. They've collected all the costumes from across the country of all the criminals that they captured. So you have the costume of Captain Cutler. You have Miner 49er. You have the Black Knight. You have the Pterodactyl Man, which I don't remember the Pterodactyl Man, chap, but you got that one. You have the Skellies. You have the Skeleton Twins or whatever. Like, some of these I'm like, I don't recognize any of these. You have the Muck Monster or whatever the fuck it was. You have the 10,000-volt Ghost. There's a lot of different, I think from the various iterations and eras of Scooby-Doo, you're getting all those different costumes, chat, and it's like, oh, everyone's all excited and shit, everyone's happy. Oh, by the way, chat, we have Alicia Silverstone. She's in this movie, and she plays a news reporter lady, and she's interviewing the mystery gang and stuff, and they're talking to Fred. Fred's the leader, as we all know, and Fred, he's doing the speaking. He's doing speaking, and he's like, oh, we stay on top of it here in Coolsville. We make sure that no costume criminals can go after the kind populace of Coolsville. He's like, yeah, and he winks at the camera and shit. She goes, thank you, Fred. That's great. I totally won't use that in nefarious purposes later on in the movie. He goes, that would sound ominous, but okay. And so they're all in the museum, chat. They're all eating the food and shit and everything, talking, schmoozing with the people. Oh, who's this, chat? We got a new phone. We got a new Huckleberry. But you say something myself. Besta on Twitch. Bestus. I'm gonna call you Besta on Twitch. Oh, Besta on Twitch. Besta, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome to stream. You're my new Huckleberry. Hope you're doing very well today. Gonna take a sip of water, chat. I'm already parched. Oh, that's good shit. That's some good shit. Actually, that was gin. That was gin. I forgot. That was not water. So they're all schmoozing, things like that, but fucking Velma, she gets distracted, chat, because she sees a piece of man meat. Now, it's not Patrick Swayze. It's not Patrick Swayze level piece of man meat, chat. And this is the first ever, like, listen, this actor, he typically is typecast as playing the nerdy role or the punk role or what have you. Like, never the handsome leading man, never like the stud muffin, chat. But I'm like, you know what? Good for you, movie, because who does she see strutting in slow motion right towards her, chat? The hottest person she's ever seen in her life, Seth Green. I'm like, all right, you know what? Good for Seth Green. And the thing is, chat, Seth Green's a good-looking guy. Seth Green is a good-looking guy, chat, right? I mean, he's typecast as the nerdy, weird guy and things and stuff, but, he's a good-looking man. Again, so welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well. Darkslayer Chris doesn't know the slang. I don't know the slang. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, the Dweeb Stoner. That's also Tremishio's Twitch and Idle Hands. He's the Dweeb Stoner. Very, very true. Very true. Chris Griffin, yeah, again. But it's like, and he's just fucking walking slow motion. I was like, you know what? Fucking Seth Green. He's hot. I get it. I totally understand why your heart is pitter-pattering, chat, or Velma. I understand why you're getting the vapors as you see Seth Green walking over and the music's playing, all that shit, walking towards her. But then he fucking slips and falls in his face, chat, nose goes inside his head. He's like, he's a monster. No, he's fine. He recovers, chat, introduces himself. Hi, my name is Patrick. I forget his last name, chat, doesn't matter. And I am the owner and curator of this museum. I've worked the last 2 years of my life making sure all of this looks the way it does. And they're like, oh, this is great. And Velma, she's lost for words, chat, and Patrick's trying to have a conversation with Patrick's like, Velma, you look very nice today. She's like, oh, thank you, and Patrick's trying to, like, he's trying to get to the brass tacks of the matter, chat. He's like, he wants to ask her out, but Velma, she's just too intimidated. She's just like, look, what's that? And we go over, chat, to the costume of the Pterodactyl Man, and we learn more about the Pterodactyl Man. Apparently, this was owned by Dr. Jacobs. Dr. Jacobs, chat, and he was one of their first cases ever. Or one of them, not the Black Knight, of course, is the first, but one of their first, one of their biggest cases, I should say. And like this guy, he had created a pterodactyl suit, and he was stealing golds and jewels from all across the people of Coolsville, chat. Not because he wanted it for monetary gain. No, he needed to fund his experiments to create the ultimate monster. He wanted to create real monster, chat, because as we know, monsters don't exist. Not in this world. No, it's all people under rubber masks or animatronic suits or using projectors or SFX technology. Chat, that's all it is. But this crazy motherfucker, he tried to actually create monsters. We beat him, of course, and, he went back to fucking jail, but, he tried to escape. He tried to escape prison. He tried to be fucking Icarus and all that shit, and he created himself another pterodactyl wingsuit, right? And he was flopping. By the way, Dr. Jacobs is played by Tim Blake Nelson, chat. Looking Glass most recently in Watchmen. I was like, oh, shit, man, you didn't care back in the day. Tim Blake, he's a good actor, but he's like, I will be in any piece of shit as long as you pay me. I'll fucking do it. I don't care. He's a very good actor, though, chat. But it's like, yeah, I don't give a damn. I'm getting paid, baby. And so he is in a giant kind of vulture-esque Icarus-type suit, chat. He's like, and he's fucking flying. But it was all for naught, chat, because he crashed into the ground below, into the icy waters. And he was lost at sea, and he's dead. And Ven was like, yeah, he was a tough one. Oh, well. Don't have to remember him. Don't have to pay attention to him anymore. But Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they're seeing the pterodactyl suit. Like, that looks like really real. That looks more realistic than, like, it's ever have before. And she's like, don't worry, guys. It's a pterodactyl. It's a suit. It's a costume. They go, yeah, you're right, Velmster. I don't know why Scoob and I are getting so intimidated by it. I should just go and eat something. And they're about to go eat something, chat. But then this mysterious, Mysterio-esque gas enters the room, chat, and it surrounds the glass case of the pterodactyl suit. And the pterodactyl suit breaks out, chat. It's an actual pterodactyl man. And it begins attacking all the people and ripping them apart, chat. All their insides have become their outside. And they're all like, oh, God, they're screaming and shit. But don't worry, guys. The Mystery Incorporated, they're on the case. They said, we got to fucking tie this thing up. And so he stops flying around the room. So he gets all tangled up in some curtains, chat, and then Daphne and Fred, they hold the curtains together while Velma directs Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to get these ropes and tie them all around the curtains so the monster can't escape. And so he ties them all around it, chat, and it's like, okay, guys, you can let go. We got him. And, of course, they fucked it up. They didn't tie shit. But, it did tie around the leg of the pterodactyl monster. And so they start flying around the goddamn room with this thing. Pterodactyl monsters tearing everything apart, chat. Meanwhile, it's also grabbing the costumes and suits in the clutches of its claws for some reason. And Scooby and Shaggy, they're getting their asses burned on fire and they're eating food, chat. That's all that's happening. Like, what's happening? It's destruction. And eventually, Scooby and Shaggy, they let go of the rope because they're destroying the entire exhibit. And the pterodactyl monster grabs the Black Knight suit, and also Captain Cutler. I think it grabs the Captain Cutler suit too, and it flies off into the night. And Patrick, he's like, "Oh God, my exhibit! What's happening?" And everyone's like scared and shit. They're running out of the museum. And you know, Militia Silverstone, she's like, "Mystery Incorporated, what do you have to say for the destruction of the museum today? Why couldn't you stop it? Why couldn't you protect Coolsville?" And Fred's like, we're gonna try. We always have. And she's like, well, today you didn't. And it's like, oh, that's too bad. And so they're all like very sad over the situation. Chat, like, well, we gotta find who the hell this pterodactyl man is. Why did he steal the costume of the Black Knight? And maybe Captain Cutler, maybe he stole it later. I don't remember, chat. But then they go in their mystery mobile. They go in the proper mystery mobile, chat. They got it all decked out with some super cool technology. And we go to their headquarters. I like this. I do like this about the movie, chat. They established the Mystery Incorporated has their own headquarters. Apparently, they have multiple employees. Like, it's a fucking facility. Okay, it's not like, it's a house somewhere. It's an apartment complex, like a single fucking room or a two-room apartment. Like, no, this is a giant building, and there's multiple computer stations. So I can only assume, like, do you have a team of people that work with you now? It would make sense if you're trying to figure this out, trying to hunt down criminals and shit. Darkslayer Martin Lord stole Martin Lord. They stole Martin. He was the true villain, Chad. He was the true villain of the whole time. I'm going to be reviewing that, by the way. You guys voted for the Martin Lawrence movie, Black Knight. 10,000 vote goes. They also stole that. He stole 10,000. He stole a lot of them. He stole a lot of the suits. I know that. And they go back to the headquarters. But I'm under the impression that they're supposed to have like a lot of employees, but like there's no one there. Like they're the only people that are there, chap. But I'm like, okay. Maybe that was like in some reshoots or something where they actually had like a large team of people working under them, but it's not established. It was just weird that I saw all these different computer stations. No one was there. Maybe they got the weekend off or something. I don't know. Because I guess the movie takes place over 2 days. So, I don't know. It's weird. And so they're talking about how, wow, we never got our asses or our butts beat by a villain before. That's nuts. And, the guys are like, yeah, and Shaggy and Scooby, they caused all that destruction. And Shaggy and Scooby, they're behind the counter like, oh, God, they're talking about us. Yeah, but, that's what they do. They get into trouble. And Shaggy's going to be like, oh, they think we're worthless. And technically they are. In hindsight, they are. And Shaggy and Scoob, they make a pact. They go, okay, they may think we're worthless pieces of meat, but Scooby, this is what we're going to do together. We're going to solve the mystery. We're going to solve the mystery of who stole the costumes of the pterodactyl man. Who did that? And they're like, they make that fucking pact. And they're like, okay, well, the first thing we got to do is we got to dress like detectives, chat. And so they do so many dumb jokes that are not necessary with them. They raid the closet of Daphne and Velma. And for whatever reason, Shaggy's wearing a lot of women's clothes in this movie for some reason. He also has boobs at one point in the film. He's wearing, and Scooby-Doo is wearing these fucking knee-high, these thigh-high boots, and he's showing them off. They're Daphne's thigh-high boots. I'm like, okay, whatever. But eventually, Velma, she's like, okay, well, as we all know, the Black Knight, he was the first guy we ever caught. All right, that was our first case ever. And the person who, was the Black Knight, as we all know, chat, was Jeremiah Wickles. And he's been released for prison from some time because apparently it's been a number of years since they caught him, and he was released on good behavior, and he is back at his estate. And it's like, okay, maybe the first thing that we should do at this point is go check on good old Jeremiah Wickles, see if he knows anything about this, see if he actually did this act, or at least, at least ask him some questions, maybe even possibly eliminate him as a suspect. Apparently he's gone straight. And they're like, yeah, and Scooby and Shaggy are like, by the way, Scooby and Shaggy, they kind of fucked this up already because it's like, okay, if we get a clue, let's not tell Velma, Daphne, and Fred about it. It's like, that you probably should do that because then they respect you. Don't all hide this shit because then it'll just become a big fucking mess, as is what happens throughout the rest of the film. Dark's, I think, with the 5 biddies. Oh, they're going to be on the street corner by the end of the night. Oh, hell yeah, they are. Oh, Ilya Marek, welcome to the stream. How you doing, Ilya? Good to see you. Yeah, welcome. Oh, yeah, so, okay, they get in the Mystery Mobile. By the way, Alicia Silverstone, she cuts together all the footage, and to make it sound like the Mystery Incorporated team is super incompetent, and they don't care about Coolsville, chat. They're like, no, they're all about themselves. They're arrogant. They're ignorant, and they'll let Coolsville burn to the ground as long as their reputations are sterling, as clean as a goddamn whistle, which we know is not true. They want to help Coolsville, chat. They grew up there. That's their childhood home. Their parents lived there. Their families lived there. So they go to Jeremiah Wilkes' opulent estate, chat, except it's not opulent anymore. It's fallen into disarray. He lost all of his money years ago as we all know, a museum curator. Suspicious, isn't it? As we all knew, chat, Wilkes was a museum curator. It's weird. Also, Velma found an actual pterodactyl skull. They realized that under the glass booth of the museum, there was a hole in it. So it was a real pterodactyl. And she did some analyzation. She says, that was a real pterodactyl monster. So there's some crazy fucking shit going down. That's why we need to talk to Mr. Wilkes. And so they go to his estate, chat, and they're like very creepy-esque, and there are cobwebs and shit everywhere. And they go to the front door, they knock on it, and the fucking floor gives way. The floor gives way, and they fall into these spikes, and they're dead. And the movie is over. It's not what happens. But they do fall, chat, and they find themselves in these giant round cages, chat. These round kind of bird-esque cages. And they're like, how do we get in there? And they notice that there's all these other people in there too, chat, in their own cages. We see a Girl Scout. She's just trying to sell some cookies. And she's like, would you like some cookies? Even though she'd probably be dead, chat. Who knows? Like, did this all happen that morning? Like, if it happened this morning, chat, or if it happened, they've been there for fucking weeks. That would have been more realistic, chat. It like they just been in there for weeks, and the fucking cages are just caked with urine and shit, and everyone's emaciated. That would have been too goddamn real, chat. In the rated R cut, that would have happened. And so they got a Girl Scout in there, chat. We got some Jehovah's Witnesses. They're in a separate cage. But it's okay, chat, because Daphne says, don't worry, guys. I brought lady products, and I can escape. And she chats, now what do you think? But she has apparently like a makeup thing. I don't know. She has like the tweezers for the eyelashes, and she uses the tweezer for the eyelashes to open the cage like a lockpick, chat. She opens it up. By the way, Daphne's like super calm in this film, chat. She is a badass. She like knows kung fu, which we do as established in the previous film, but she's kicking a lot of butt in this movie. She opens the cage. She frees the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Girl Scout and everything. And the Scooby beats the shit out of the little girl, and he takes all her cookies, chat. It's terrible. Actually, no, the girl just gives him to Scooby, even though he did intimidate her. And they're like, okay, we're here. Let's go ahead and start looking for clues. But the people you don't expect to say that, Chad, is actually Shaggy. He's like, okay, guys, since we're here, we should split up and look for clues. Scooby and I will go this way. And Fred's like, but I'm the one that always says that. He's like, well, not today, Fred. Today, I'm the one who says that. And they go look for clues. And Fred doesn't know what to do with himself, Chad. It's like, that's his thing. He's the leader. He dictates what's going to happen, but now he's useless. He's loose. I mean, really, Chad, Fred's arc in this movie is non-existent. He feels bad because he keeps messing up, like, the interviews of Alicia Silverstone, but that's about it. That's his arc in this film. He barely does anything. And they're like, we're going to look around the thing. And then, chat, we get just a really piss-poor segment with Shaggy and Scooby where it's like, we're going to go our separate ways and look in different bedrooms. And Scooby, he's like, we got to find a clue. Shaggy always has to remind Scooby, we're looking for clues. And he's like, okay, Shaggy. And he goes into one bedroom, chat, and there's a safe that says, top secret, don't open. And Scooby goes, oh, a clue. But he goes immediately past that to a dresser, chat, and he begins opening up all the drawers in the dresser, and he starts picking things up, and it's just like, clue. It's like just a pair of underwear, which he then proceeds to put on his head and then dance around the room. That's it. That's all that happens. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's the point of this? It's like, I get Scooby's goofy, but it's just like, clue. I do a little dance now and a music number. It's like, okay. Okay. Oh, we got a bot. Chat, we got a bot. We have a bot. Do we have any mods in here? If I have any mods in here right now, I give you permission. I give you permission to eliminate them. I can ban them. Oi, what's of all this? What's of all these bots, chat? Come on now. Come on. I'm trying to do a review. I'm being interrupted. You must die. Oh, the user trying to ban does not exist? God damn it. Did I not ban him right? I guess I didn't ban him. Hold on, until we try it again. I see. You've been banned! Thank you, Keen DJ. Thank you for banning that, man. Appreciate you. So, my mod, chat. I love it. It's Skynet. Well, technically, Skynet is supposed to be aware, chat, self-aware, on August 1st, 2020. That's when it becomes self-aware. So we are 2 days away, chat. We are 2 days away from Skynet becoming self-aware, all right? Kiss your loved ones, kiss your babies and all that, chat. It's going to get rough from here on out. But Scooby is I'm sorry, but Scooby sucks in this movie. Everything they have him do is annoying or just plain dumb. And you can be a little more clever with this character other than him saying clue, clue, and putting a pair of underwear on his head and dancing around the room. Dumb. Eventually, Shaggy's still looking for shit or whatever. I don't know. And he walks out, and Scooby's like, I found a clue, Shaggy, and just dumps all this shit. And Shaggy's like, these aren't clues. This is just stuff you stole from this man. And Scooby's like, no. And he's like, oh, whatever. But he looks through all this stuff. He's like, oh, Scooby, look, what was this? It's a sticky note. He sees a sticky note, chat, and it says on the sticky note, meet tonight at the Faux Mask. The Faux Mask is a bar that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy know about. And they're like, oh, we found a clue. Wilkes is going to be going to a bar tonight. And Shaggy's going to be like, yay, they're all happy and shit and everything. And it's great. It's great. But it's like, and they're all excited, chat, and it's like, and Shaggy's like, Scooby, we did it, and they're dancing, and Shaggy turns to his other guy that's standing right next to him, and goes, hey, we found a clue, and chat, it's the Black Knight, it's Martin Lawrence, he's back, and he's a ghost, he's a Black Knight ghost, and he starts chasing Scooby and Shaggy, and it's shenanigans ensue. Meanwhile, we cut back to Velma, Fred, and Daphne, and they're looking in kind of the library, and they're like, oh, these books are covered in dust, but Fred has a good idea. He's like, you know what, clearly we know that someone's been reading here because the table's been used quite often. Let's look for the books that don't have dust on them to see what he's been reading. And Fred's like, Velma's like, that's a brilliant idea, Fred. And he's like, I know, I have to do something in this movie at least once. I need to have at least one competent moment. And so they go over to the shelves and they see this one book, and aptly titled for the book, chat, How to Create Monsters. Okay, we're very succinct, very succinct. They open it up, chat, and they realize, oh my God, this book was owned by Dr. Jacobs, or whatever the hell his name was, chat. Fucking Tim Blake Nelson. He was owned by Tim Blake Nelson. They go the whole spiel again. It's like, yeah, he's one of our first enemies, and he died and shit. And he gifted this book to Wilkes. It's like, oh my God, Wilkes is trying to make monsters. This is nuts, but he's not here. We got to go back to Mystery Incorporated and try to track him down. But chat, while this is happening, the fucking Black Knight, he's attacking. And, you know, there's shenanigans of Scooby and Shaggy. They're getting chased by the Black Knight. They go look, that's what they had. They go looking for him. And that's when, right before the Black Knight is about to horrifically murder Shaggy and Scooby, chat. He could have killed Scooby for all I cared. Save Matthew Lillard, but kill Scooby-Doo. I don't give a shit about him. Fucking Daphne comes in there, chat. No, Fred comes in there. Fred comes in there. He has a shield, and he's like, don't worry, guys, I'll beat him. And the Black Knight just fucking bitch slaps and shit, just backhand, and he Fred flies across the room, is impaled on a spike, and he's dead. He's dead for the rest of the movie. But then Daphne's like, oh, no, you didn't do that to my piece of man meat, now did you? And she starts pulling off all these kung fu moves, chat, and Daphne's like, Velma, read the book and find out how to defeat this monster. And Velma's reading and shit, and Daphne's doing all of these, you know, gymnastics, chat, all this parkour nonsense. She's kicking this thing's ass, chat. There's no question about that. It's like they're evenly matched the entire time. But Velma's like, the only way we could do this is with a very specific green glowing chemical called Rododon or whatever the hell it is. And we don't have the capacity to use that right now. And eventually the Black Knight gets the upper hand on Velma. On Daphne. She's like, well, is there anything that we could do to temporarily stop it? And Velma goes, there is one thing! And she walks up to the Black Knight, chat, and she just fucking Spartan kicks him in the balls. And he goes, oh! And he just keels over, chat. Yes, we have ball-kicking humor from Velma. And he fucking dies. I mean, he's not dead, but he's fucked up pretty good. And all the mystery crew, they run out of there, chat. They get back in the van. Also, they were, like, bullied by some teenage kids. And I'm like, you know, fuck you, kids. Because they were saying, Mystery Incorporated, you suck. And the Black Knight comes out and he decapitates the two children, chat. I imagine James Gunn asked for that, but they're fucking dead. And because he took out his rage, but because he got kicked in the balls. And though eventually, chat, we go back to the Mystery Incorporated headquarters. And they're like, okay, we got to go ahead and track down Wilkes. It'll take a while, though, to get this data. But in the meantime, we can keep doing more research about this monster creation. But the thing is, Shaggy and Scooby, they found a very important clue. They know that Wilkes is going to be going to the faux mask tonight. Now, chat, any sensible person would go, hey, guys, I have a clue. Why don't we go to the bar together and we can talk to Wilkes? Because that's what we originally wanted to do. But Shaggy and Scooby were like, no, we're going to do this by ourselves and fuck it up. And so Shaggy does this whole thing and was like, okay, in order to leave, we're going to have to pretend that you have rabies. And so he takes a big fucking can of, what the hell is it, chat? The cream. The goddamn it. It's the big cream thing that you shake it up and you spray it. Spray cream. I don't forget what the hell it is. Doesn't matter. And he fucking sprays it in his mouth, and Scooby's going, he's like, he's got rabies and shit. He's like, I need to leave. Zoinks, guys. Scoob's gone crazy. I gotta take him to the vet. And he drags him out of there, chat. Whipped cream, thank you. I don't know why the fuck I just couldn't whip cream. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me? I'm losing my mind. And so they go out there, chat, and they go to the faux mask. And they're like, yeah, so it's like, okay, but they realize when they get to the faux mask, oh my God, it's a villain's bar. And it's the bar where all their past enemies go to, chat, because they hate the Mystery Gang so much. And they somehow established a fucking bar together. And you see references to all the other villains and shit from the original series and other reincarnations, and they're like, oh God, how the hell are we gonna get into there? And Scooby and Shaggy are like, well, we're just gonna have to go in. We have to get a disguise. That's the only way we're gonna sneak in. And then, chat, the decision is made by the filmmakers, like, let's give Shaggy and Scooby disco attire. And so they walk in there, and Scooby's he can just walk like a normal person now because he can. And Scooby has a big fucking afro, and he's using slang, and he's beatboxing, and he's using hip hop, and it's a fucking mess. It's just a fucking mess. Shaggy, he's dressed as a pimp. He has a gold tooth, and I'm like, how did this? Why? Why? Why were you doing this? And you're using slang, and they're making beatboxing noises, and it's very embarrassing. It's very embarrassing, chat. Whipped cream certainly whipped your vocabulary. It did, man. It fucking did. And so they walk in there. Given so it's been a while since I've seen this, but the way Juicy explains is like, wait, I don't remember that. It happened. It happened to Given Soul. I swear. They walk in there, and they're dressed like in disco attire, and they're using slang and street terms, and it's very embarrassing. But it's like, and it's all criminals, chat. They all know him. And there was one woman who wants to have sex with Scooby-Doo like really badly. She's constantly hitting on him. No one can recognize that he is a dog and an afro for some reason, but we're just gonna fucking go with it. And so Shaggy's like, I'm going to go look for Mr. Wilkes. You go ahead and wait here, Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo goes, no problem, Reggie. And then we get a dance number, chat, because of course we get a dance number. And so Scooby-Doo starts fucking disco dancing with all the other people. And everyone's like, yay, this guy's amazing. Woo, we love this guy. And he's dancing, chat. It's not good. It's not good. Then we cut to Shaggy. And he goes to the bar and he finds Mr. Wilkes, chat. And who's playing Mr. Wilkes? A very sad and tired-looking Peter Boyle. Yeah, Peter Boyle, an actor who's very close to my heart, played the great character of Frank Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. Probably the last good laugh track sitcom on television. I can't think of anything else that came after where it was like as good as that. Like, that was the last one. Obviously, I don't like laugh tracks and comedies, but that was, you know what? That show was legitimately funny consistently. It did really good. Peter Boyle was amazing in that, and he's a great actor, Chad. He's been working. I'm working actor since the 50s or the 60s, and to see him here, clearly, I mean, he's older. I think Everybody Loves Raymond. No, it's still going on. Technically, it was still going on, but this was the later years. This is right before he died. I think like 3 or 4 years before he died. So you could tell that he just looks tired. And I mean, perfect for the villain, I guess, because Wilkes is supposed to be just this guy who has just lost everything. And Shaggy was up to him. He's like, oh, zoinks, Mr. Wilkes. I just want to say I'm a real big fan of your work. And Mr. Wilkes is like, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck. He's like, oh, jeez. He's like, no, believe me, kid. Believe me, I've made some horrible choices in my life, and if I could take them back right now, I would. I've learned a lot about myself in prison. It was a terrible experience, but I'm a better person for it right now. And Shaggy's like, did you ever know a Mr. Jacobs? And he's like, Mr. Jacobs! Mr. Jacobs! I hated him. He'd always steal my tater tots. He was very adamant about the tater tot theft, chat. He was very mad about the tater tot theft. And Shaggy goes, oh, geez, I'm sorry. He's like, don't worry, I'm free now. I'm a better person. I'm just drowning my sorrows in alcohol. It's what I should have been doing for my entire life. She goes, oh, well, at least you're doing better. And then Shaggy proceeds to take off his disguise, chat. He removes the gold tooth. He takes off his pimp hat. And he's like, well, I guess you actually owe a lot to the Mystery Incorporated gang. And Peter Bull goes, I will fucking kill them if I ever see them. And he goes, oh, shit. And he puts the stuff back on. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, if you ever find them, I will hunt them down, and I'll rip their flesh off their faces, and I'll wear them as my mask. It's like, all right, man, see you later. And Shaggy's just like, Scooby-Doo, where are you? And he sees him dance. He's like, oh. And Scooby's like, run, run. And he's just fucking dancing and shit. His afro's falling off. Eventually, it falls off, chat. His clothes start to fall off of him, too, because he's a fucking dog. And, eventually, he's still fucking doing a dance move. Everyone's like, what is it? What's wrong? And it's like, you're Scooby-Doo. And, you know, the guy, fucking Shaggy goes up to, he's like, no, it's not Scooby-Doo. It just looks like Scooby-Doo. And it's like, come on, let's get going here, man. And, you know, Scooby's like, what are we going to do, Raggy? And they're like, wait a minute. And they take off. That's Shaggy Rogers. He's like, oh, shit, Scoob. We got to get going. And they fucking run, chat. And they literally get in the garbage chute. They make a Star Wars reference. It's weird. And they go down the fucking garbage chute, chat, and they just escape. They escape. They just get out of there. Darks, I think, of the 5 minis. I'm going to go all Ed Gein on them. Hell yeah. He was, man. That's what that's what he's leading to. So they jump in the garbage. He was like, hey, that wasn't too bad, man. And more garbage comes in their face, and Scooby just starts eating the garbage, chat. He doesn't give a shit. He'll eat fucking vomit off the floor. He doesn't care. Eventually, Chad, we cut back to the mystery gang. They're still, you know, downloading the research, whatever, from the computer, because that's how the internet, that's how people thought the internet worked back then. And while that's happening, Chad, fucking Patrick, the museum curator, he's knocking on the door. And apparently, there was a double date set up between Velma and Patrick and Fred and Daphne. I don't remember that in the movie. At one point, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go out and do something. I was like, what? When did that happen? I felt like there was a scene missing in this film for this section, but Velma, she's like, oh no, boy, she's too intimidated by him, and she's on the floor like crawling around like a baby. It's like, this is weird. And then Daphne goes over her and she crawls over and she's like, Velma, what's wrong? She goes, I just don't I've never been on a date before. My whole life is all about facts and knowledge and research, and I don't know how to deal with my feelings. It's like, Jesus Christ, you need to see a psychiatrist, Velma. My God, you have like very intense commitment issues if you can't talk to anyone who you are mildly attracted to, who's mildly attracted to you. And Velma goes, listen, it's kind of good to go out and experience new things, you know, to meet someone, interact with someone who actually likes you. That's really cool. And Velma's like, but I'm so dumpy. It's like, what? First of all, Linda Cardellini looks amazing in this film. I don't like how they treat Velma in this movie. I really don't like it. And she's like, I'm not pretty. It's like, bull fucking shit, you're not pretty. And, it's dumb. And Daphne's like, don't worry about that, honey. We're going to get you all dolled up. And so she finds a all-leather one-piece suit for Velma, chat. And I'll admit, it hugs every goddamn curve that Linda Cardellini has. And, like, Fred invites Patrick in. They're drinking fucking liquor and shit. They're getting smashed. And Velma, she looks great. She walked down the stairs, but she can't really walk. She's like, down the stairs. Patrick's like, wow, you look different, Velma. She goes, I know, I look sexy. And so they all get into the car, chat, but Velma still struggles to walk on high heels and everything. And she's making sexy faces at Patrick. And Patrick's like, Velma, do you got to go to the bathroom? What's wrong with you? She's like, I'm fine. And I'll admit, this is a funny scene, chat, where they try to open the van and Velma can't get in. And she's kind of like, she has to like kind of jump inside and kind of waddle to the seat. And they're sitting there, and I guess they're going to dinner or something. And, like, Velma, every time she moves, the leather, like, makes a and so Patrick's like, oh. It's like, I swear to God, it's the suit. Oh, God. Velma's just farting back there, chat. More fart humor. Yay. And so they don't go to dinner or whatever. They go, because the museum has been attacked. And, fucking Alicia Silverstone, she's there covering it mysteriously. She somehow knew before it was going to happen. And Fred's like, I don't want you to talk to me, Alicia Silverstone. She's like, why not, Fred? Because you probably get me saying, Coolsville is stupid. He goes, wait, shit, don't use that. And he goes to the museum. They all go in the museum eventually. Daphne sticks around. She says, Alicia Silverstone. No, that happens later. So they'll go in the museum, chat, and all the rest of the costumes have been stolen. Oh, then Patrick, he's just like, my life's work. 2 years. And Velma's like, Patrick, I'm so sorry. And she goes like to touch him, and he fucking turns around and like almost is about to hit her. She's like, don't touch me. He's like, he like winds up his hand. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's happening in this movie? She goes, Jesus. And he's like, listen, I don't need to be touched right now. I need to leave. I need to deal with this my way. And he just fucking walked. And Velma's like, Jesus Christ. Well, I avoided that abusive relationship. And they all leave the museum. Alicia Silverstone, she's doing a report and shit. It's like, the Mystery Incorporated has failed Coolsville again. Daddy walks over to her and she's like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why you going after Fred and Velma, okay? It's like, we're trying to help these people. And Alicia Silverstone, she's like, no, you're not trying to help. I know people like you. You ruin lives. She's like, what? And she's like, you sound like a bad guy. And she's like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm unmasking the true villains of this movie. You, Daphne. And Daphne's like, that's, okay, you're the bad guy. Okay, got it. I'll remember for the end of the movie. But then Oh, by the way, I forgot. There's a villain in this film. Honestly, I forgot, like, when the giant pterodactyl appears, you get this one villain who has, like, a robotic mask. I totally forgot about this. I'm sorry. And he's like, Mystery Crew, I will get my revengeance on you. And then he leaves, and he shows up back up here again. He's just forgettable. He's barely in the movie. He's like about 5 minutes of screen time. He shows up. He's like, I have stolen the costumes, and I will create more monsters. And he flies away and shit. And Alicia Silverstone's like, you made me miss the biggest story of the year. Thanks, Daphne. And then she goes off with her camera guy named Chad or Nelson. I think his name is Nelson. Doesn't matter. And so everyone's feeling really sad and about the situation and like, well, this kind of sucks. But they go back to Mystery Incorporated and they find out that we know where Mr. Wilkes is. He owns a property. Apparently, he owns, like, a property near the old mining company, so we'll go over there. Meanwhile, chat, we cut back to Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and they have gotten out of the trash and everything, and they're walking around trying to like, we're going to go now, Scoob. And they go over there, and they see a mysterious figure intimidating this one, just beating the shit out of this one guy in the dark, Chad. They're like, holy shit, man, what's that? Go over there, Chad. This guy, like, runs away. Don't worry, I'll go to the abandoned mining company and tell him, and he leaves. And who walks out of the fucking dark like goddamn Batman, Chad? It's Patrick. It's Seth Green. And Shaggy's like, holy shit, Patrick. And Patrick's like, oh, did you see that? Shaggy? And Shaggy goes, yeah, what's up with you, man? She's like, my museum was broken into. And, I was coming here to see if I can find the information. He goes, oh, yeah, it's funny. We were going to look for information here, too. And he's like, did you find any information? He goes, he's like, you will tell me if you found any information, right? And he's like, oh, listen, Patrick, we got to get going, man. We got to meet up with Daphne, Velma, and Fred. He's like, I just saw them. He keeps like blocking his way from moving. And he's like, Patrick, you okay? He's like, yeah, of course. Listen, I know you saw back there. You thought I was being crazy or something. He's like, you seemed a little intimidating, man. He's like, yeah, I was going, He goes, and just Shaggy and Scooby go, oh. And he keeps like trying to scare them and shit. That was a fun scene. I did like this scene. It was kind of funny. And he's like, now you do it to me. And Patrick's like, now you scare me. Scare me, Shaggy. And Shaggy's like, all right, see you later, man. They walk off. And eventually, Shaggy and Scooby, they go to the mining company. And they infiltrate it or something. And because they're looking for Mr. Wilkes. That's it. And they follow him there. They follow him. And maybe they see him going that direction. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But they follow him to this abandoned mining company, chat. And they're in the bushes and shit. And they're talking to each other. And Wilkes, he goes in one direction. Shaggy and Scooby, they fuck it up and they go in a different direction. And they go down to the bowels. They go down to the depths of the mining company, chat. But meanwhile, we cut back to Velma, Daphne, and Fred. They have also shown up there. They're feeling a little sad. But like, hey, we got to fucking get Wilkes. And so they bust on in after overhearing them talk to all these guys saying like, my plans have finally come together. After all these years, I can finally reveal what I'm going to. And they bust on and like, we got you, Mr. Wilkes. But Mr. Wilkes, he's in a fucking suit and tie. He's talking to all these business guys. And he's go, what are you kids doing here? What are you meddling fucks doing here? And they go, you're about to reveal your evil plans. Like, no, I'm not, man. I'm opening a summer camp for kids. And they're like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to sell them a pitch. It's a mining camp for kids. They do all the work, and they have fun all summer. And the guys are like, yes, that is. They said, well, that's kind of evil and shit, but aren't you the guy who's made the monster? He's like, nah, I'm fucking reformed. I'm trying to start a goddamn business. And the businessman's like, we didn't know you were a fucking costume criminal. We're getting the hell out of here. They all leave. And fucking Peter Boyle's like, God damn you, just leave me alone. I'm trying to run a business, please. I have been paid for this for the past 20 goddamn years. Stop ruining my life. And he fucking hangs himself or something. Meanwhile, chat, fucking Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they are in the bowels of the mining facility, and they come up, they're thirsty and shit. They want food, because of course they do. And they open up a fridge, and it has all sorts of chemicals and concoctions, chat. And fucking Scooby just starts fucking drinking them and shit. And Shaggy turns around, and is like, oh God, Zoink, Scoob, what happened to you? And Scoob's become a gelatinous snail monster. He's disgusting looking. It's like, just fucking put a bullet in him already. That's what I would have done, chat. Would have done that beforehand too. Fuck that dog. And so he's like, oh, help me, Shaggy. And Shaggy goes over there. He's like, all right, Scoob, there must be an antidote in here. And he gives like an antidote to fucking, he gives something to Scooby to drink. And Shaggy is like, oh, and he like, something gets in Shaggy's mouth. He's like, it tastes like strawberry, man. And then Shaggy starts to grow boobs, chat. He's rocking these double D bazungas. He gets a big old ass, chat. He's like, oh, Zoink, Scoob, I have breasts. And he's fucking freaking out and shit. He's like, oh, he's touching himself. It's like, again, James Gunn, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, James Gunn. Come on now. And then Scooby, he drinks one and becomes incredibly intelligent, I think, at one point. And he's like, you're actually not annoying. He's like, oh my God, I realize I've made everyone's life miserable, but I can't, this is too much knowledge, too much power. I need to turn myself back. And Shaggy, he downs another one, chat, and he grows into these giant muscles. You know, he looks, just fucking, he's roided out as hell, but also lowered his intelligence. And he's fucking freaking out and shit. But Scooby's like, fucking stop moving around, you idiot. I gotta make us the potion. He makes the potion, chat. But meanwhile, Velma, Daphne, and Fred show up and they're like, oh, guys, what are you doing? And there's like, something happens. There's a big fucking explosion, and Scooby, he fixes it and shit. And everyone's fine. And eventually, like, okay, clearly there's something nefarious going on in this facility. Let's continue to explore. And so they find this giant contraption, this giant machine with all the costumes hooked up to it. And they're like, oh, this is how it's happening. There's the green radion fluid. The radion fluid is being pumped into the costumes, and that's making them come alive. Okay? And, all right, we're going to keep looking. to see who is the one behind this. Let's go down this tunnel. And so they're looking for shit. And, you know, Shaggy and Scooby, they fuck it up as they always do. And they go to the machine chat and they start pressing fucking buttons when they shouldn't be pressing fucking buttons. And they create all the monsters. They create the Captain Cutler is born again. He's reborn. Minor 49er and Zombie. He's just Zombie, Chad. He's reborn. And they start chasing him and shit. Also, the Skelly twins are there, too. They're fucking trying to kill him. And it's like, we have to escape. And Daphne, Fred, and Velma, also the 10,000 volt ghost tries to kill him as well. But Fred, Daphne, and Velma, they get in the mystery van and they take off. They're like, we gotta get the hell out of here at this point. While Scooby and Shaggy, they're like, Jesus Christ, they missed the van, chat, and they're on the outside of the mining encampment, and the only way down though is fucking down a mountainside. And they're like, shit, and they literally take some trash can lids and they fucking surf down the mountain, chat, and we get some of the worst CGI in this movie. Yeah, I mean, God, the green screen. This is terrible. Like, I know it's like, why even do this type of sequence if you know it's going to look terrible? But it looks really bad, and already. And a lot of special effects don't look great, but we follow them down this mountain, chat. The Skelly twins are trying to kill them and shit, but they fuck it up because they're useless. And eventually, chat, even though Scooby and Shaggy are falling, they fell off of the trash can lids, and they're just falling fucking straight down this mountain. But somehow they maneuvered themselves there, where the mystery, like Fred planned it, where he opened the mystery van door, and Shaggy and Scooby they fall right in there, and they don't fucking die, and so they don't smush, they don't explode like a hot water balloon or anything. All their insides come their outsides. No, they're just fucking fine. And they would have died. They would have died, and they would have killed everyone else in that fucking van. Thank you, Crusader of the 5 Minutes. Is it up there with the rooftop scene in the room? Yeah, no, it's worse. I think it might be worse than that, honestly, because it's supposed to be like, oh, look all the coolest things are happening, but it looks really bad. Like, Matthew Lillard's like, wow, I could tell. You could see the green. I mean, I guess you could see the green halo around Time Was So and everyone in that movie, but definitely this film too. It looks really bad. And it's like, shit, we gotta get the hell out of here. We have to figure out this situation. And so they go back in the city, trying to go back to the headquarters, chef. But oh no, since all these monsters have been unleashed, get it? The city is in turmoil, and the villain, who I don't know, he's the Phantom. I don't know the fucking villain's name. I don't know what his name is. Not Tim Blake Nelson, but we don't know that yet. But he's the evil villain and shit. He's like, "Oh, my monsters, bring me the Mystery Incorporated gang. I will have my revengeance tonight." And so he sends all his monsters out there, chat, and they fucking slaughter the population of Coolsville. They're killing everyone, okay? In graphic ways, they're all dying. And eventually, the mystery gang are like, fuck, we can't be here. We gotta leave. We gotta go to the place that no one knows about. And so they get out of Coolsville, chat. They go to the outer edges of Coolsville, and they arrive in this very forested area. And it's like, oh, this is their original headquarters, chat. They were when they were kids. And we get a flashback when they were in high school, chat, or maybe like freshmen, and they're like, they're playing fucking frisbee with each other. It's like, yeah, having fun. Scooby-Doo's like a dumb, annoying puppy. I hate him, even when a puppy, chat. And Scooby-Doo's hitting in his head, and that's how he got so fucking dumb. He's being concussed consistently. And it's like, yeah, you do a flashback. It's like, let's go inside the thing. They're in there and they're bonding. They start to remember who they really are. They start to get their self-confidence back. They're like, okay, guys, we can do this. Yes, we had some setbacks. We had many setbacks. Remember the first movie? How we all fucking hate each other in the beginning of it? We've had our setbacks. We're a fucking family. Let's come together. Let's solve this case. Let's save Coolsville. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they can give fuck all what's happening in there. And they're like, Scoob, man, maybe we should have told him about, Wilkes and all that. Scooby's like, fuck them. No, fuck them. While they're talking about that, they see out in the lake, chat. The lake, Captain Cutler has arrived, chat. Let's look at he has like the bioluminescent like green glow. They're like, oh, it's Captain Cutler, Scoob. He's from the series, man. He walks out there and he has a harpoon gun. I don't remember that. And he has a harpoon gun, chat. He's trying to shoot Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, but he misses each time. And Shaggy's like, guys, Captain Cutler's out here. And they all run out there to like, okay, it's not safe anymore. We got to get going. We must defeat the villains. And so they go back in. Also, by the way, Shaggy stole a part from the machine, the monster-making machine, and that's why the Phantom guy or whatever goes after you. That's why he wants the mystery gang, because he needs that part to continue making monsters. Okay, there you go. And so they hop back in the truck. They're like, okay, we got to go back to the mining camp, and we have to put this part back on here, and apparently, Chad, because Velma figures this out, we just attach it, we press this button, and all the monsters will die. How does she know this? I don't know, but we have about 15 minutes left in the film, so let's just keep moving and grooving. Let's keep moving and grooving. And so they go back to the mining camp. And that's when they're confronted by the Black Knight again. The Black Knight's there. And Fred's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. I have self-confidence, and I have not done anything worthy of note, with the exception of in the library room when I said that let's look for the books that don't have any dust on them. That's the last kind of cool thing that Fred has done in an hour and 30 minutes. So this is his next cool thing. And so somehow, chat, he finds the location of a motorcycle, and because the fucking Black Knight, he's on a ghost horse and shit, and he has like one of those stabby things. Not a sword, chat, but the pins, the fucking lance. He has a lance, chat. And he's gonna, like, you could have just run him down right now, but it's like, no, Fred's gonna distract him. And Fred, he's on a motorcycle, chat, and he has like a piece of fucking rebarb, and he goes back and forth with the Black Knight. The Black Knight, they both fall off the things, and it's like, they get their ass kicked together. Meanwhile, we cut to, the others, and the 10,000-volt ghosts there stopping their progress. Daphne's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. I can stop a fucking ghostly entity that has the power of 10,000 volts of electricity. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm Daphne fucking whatever her name is. I forgot her last name. Daphne. What was her name, Chad? I forgot. Daphne. Blake. Daphne Blake. And so they run off, and Daphne starts to use her kung fu. Like, she immediately tries to kick this thing, and it zaps her, and she turns to fucking dust, and she's dead. Daphne leaves the picture, chat. Meanwhile, we cut back to Shaggy, Velma, and Scooby, and Velma's like, oh, the minor 49ers there or something. Oh, the Skelly Twins. The Skelly Twins are there. And she goes, guys, I'm going to distract the Skelly Twins. You go ahead and just put the part back on the machine and press that button, and they'll all die. And Shaggy's like, why us, man? Why? We're no heroes. Velma says, what are you talking about, guys? She's like, well, you guys are absolutely heroes. You have an amazing sense of self-confidence. You don't care what anyone thinks. And, you know, at the end of the day, everything works out when you two are with us. You've saved the day countless times. And Shaggy and Scooby are like, oh, fuck, we really do that. It's like, without us, you guys all be fucking dead. And it's true. They'd all be dead, Chad, because the plans never work out. The plans never work out. The only time they do work out is if Shaggy and Scooby are there, because they don't work out, but somehow those two come together and save the goddamn day. He's like, why the fuck do we feel bad? Yeah, you need us. You'd be fucking dead without us. Yeah, Velma's like, exactly. So I'm going to go distract the Skelly Twins while you get the part replaced in there. And also, there's a scene when they see the Skelly Twins, and Scooby-Doo just farts, because he gets fear of farts, chat. And he's like, oh, excuse me. And it's like, dumb. And so Velma, she runs off. She distracts the Skelly Twins. And eventually, she also goes down a garbage chute. She goes down that garbage chute, chat. And she finds herself in a mine tunnel, typically. She drops my glasses. Where are my glasses? Can't find them, chat. But she does come upon a fucking altar that has various newspaper clippings, chat, of Mr. Jacobs, or whatever the hell his name was, Jacobs. And she's like, oh my God. She puts the glasses on. She can't believe her eyes. She had like all these newspaper clippings, all these pictures and things. And she looks at this one, and she goes, Mr. Jacobs, he was in front of the museum 2 years ago, but he died 3 years ago. How's that possible? And then she actually sees another picture. She picks it up, and she's like, wait a minute. It's like, it's Mr. Jacobs, chat, or Jacobs, or whatever the fuck his name is, and he's in front of a class of students. And who's the student? Who's his prize pupil, chat? A young Seth Green, a young Patrick. And Hilma goes, oh my God, Patrick's the villain. Oh, witness me. Nick Diaz, the chat attack. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're doing very well today. I am just in the middle of my review for Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Almost done with it. Almost at the end, my friend. Almost at the end. But good to see you guys. Looney Tune 22, welcome to stream. Hi, hope you're doing well. Those of you who don't know, my name is Mr. Evan7, also go by Chris. I do spoiler reviews for movies, cartoons, and I also play the video games. I'm going to be playing some Ghost of Tsushima later tonight. It'll be pretty cool. Hope you stick around and watch it. I need a drink, chat. Woo! Need some water after this. But chat, so she sees all this fucking shit. She realizes, oh, Patrick must be the villain. And then who walks up behind her, chat? It's Patrick. He's there. He's like, Velma, good to see you. She goes, ah! She's like, listen, Velma, I can explain all of this. Don't worry about it. She's like, Patrick, are you the bad guy? He's like, Velma, you have to trust me. I'm not the villain. I came here to learn things. She's like, what did you learn, Patrick? She says, dark things. And she's like, Patrick, I can't trust you. And she runs away. And Patrick's like, Velma, where are you going? She's after a chat. She goes across this like fucking metallic grate or whatever. But it falls through and she's gonna fall through and die. But Patrick reaches out and he grabs her, chat. She grabs her. He's like, Velma, hold on. And Velma's like, oh, I don't know what to do. He says, listen, you have to trust me. You have to let go of the grate so I can lift you up. She's like, no, how do I know you'll do that? You're the bad guy. He's like, I'm not the bad guy. Please, I care about you, Velma. Trust me. And she goes, jinkies, and she lets go, chat. She lets go, and he just drops her, and she's dead. No, it doesn't happen. She's fine. He pulls her up, chat, and she's like, oh, I thought, I'm sorry. And Patrick, he's just saying, he's like, no, it's okay. Listen, I built an altar to Jacobs for some reason, and it's not explained for the rest of the film. And, yeah, that's why I come here sometimes to honor the altar of Jacobs. And she's like, that's weird. And then the fucking pterodactyl comes, and it grabs him, chat, and it eats him, and it flies away. Actually, it just drags him, takes him away, chat. And she goes, that's fucked up. And eventually, chat, we cut back to Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. They entered the machine room again. They're trying to put the part on it, but oh no, all the monsters show up. And fucking Daphne and Fred, they delve the 10,000-volt ghost and Black Knight. They combine their powers and they explode and shit. So, and the Skelly twins are also killed. Also, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they vor a monster. They literally vor a monster, chat, and is now inside of them. And so now they're back in the machine room. But the thing is, chat, the Phantom robot guy, he's there too. And he's like, no, I will get my revenge on you. And he has the muck monster in there. We have the zombie of Minor 49er, chat. Also, Scooby-Doo, there's a scene, chat, where in order to get past Minor 49er, because he breathes fire, Shaggy uses the powers of Scooby-Doo's farts, and he pulls on his tail, and a giant jet of fart hits Minor 49er in the face, and it burns his flesh off. That's what happens. So, we're now in the machine room, and the muck monster's there. It starts to, use its hentai tentacles to squeeze the life out of everybody, except for Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo's the only one that's free. And everyone's like, Scooby, you gotta save us. But Scooby's always scared. But he's like, he can't be scared now because his friends are literally being hentai to death. And so he grabs a fire extinguisher, chat, and apparently that fire extinguisher is able to freeze the muck monster, and he breaks everyone out, and Scooby-Doo kills all the monsters, chat. He kills the zombie. He fucking mauls the zombie. He mauls Minor 49er, and he beats the shit out of the Phantom robot. He attaches the part to the machine, activates the button, chat. For those of them that weren't all fucked up, they're definitely dead now. And they're like, yay, success, we did it. We beat the Phantom Stranger. And then, chat, the whole town shows up because everyone knew that they're at the mining facility for some reason. I don't know how. But the whole town shows up, and all the reporters are there. It's like, oh, they got the Phantom Robot Man. Here's like, are you gonna mask this criminal? And they're like, yes, we will. And it's like, who is he? And Velma's like, well, it's obviously this person. It's like, it's gonna be Patrick, chat. And it's not Patrick, because Patrick is there. Patrick is there. Mr. Wilkes is there. They're not the villains, chat. They were completely unrelated to what was happening. But they removed the mask, chat. And who is it? It's Alicia Silverstone. She's the villain. They're like, Alicia Silverstone. Why? Why would you do that? But she doesn't say anything. But Velma says, but that's not possible because she was covering the event when the Phantom Robot guy showed up. And she's like, yes, I thought about that. And we came to the realization that it was also her camera guy. And we cut to the camera guy for the first time we're ever seeing him. And he's like, yeah, I did it. I'm the bad guy too. And it's like, okay. But then Velma goes, but here's the thing. It obviously wasn't Alicia Silverstone. It's actually, and he takes off this really bad CGI rendered mask, and it's Mr. Jacobs, chat. It's Tim Blake Nelson. And they're like, how? He's dead. And she's like, no, when I was in the altar room, I found a picture of the museum being under construction, the new wing that we're supposed to get from Mission Incorporated. But that was 2 years ago when that was happening, and you got caught in that picture. Jacobs died 5 years ago, so he was obviously alive. And apparently, Tim Blake Nelson starts talking and goes, yeah, I faked my death so I could come back and ruin your lives, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you fucking meddling kids and that goddamn dog. And they haul him back to jail, Chad. Also the camera guy, he's hauled back to jail. They drive him back there. Everyone's happy. Peter Boyle's Wilkes, he's happy, chat, because he's dealt with his internal trauma, and he got the deal for the mining internment cap for the kids, so he's got that working for him. But then, chat, we need to also end this too. Fucking Velma and Patrick, they have to have a talk, and so he comes over there. Now, listen, chat, I would have been like, fuck Patrick. He's creepy as hell. He's building goddamn altars to former Scooby-Doo villains. The fuck guy will have him, in bed with me. Absolutely not. But Patrick says, listen, Velma, I just wanted to say, and she goes, no, stop, Patrick. I just want to say, listen, I like you, but I'm not that girl. I'm not the girl who's always going to be, and she says some bullshit. It doesn't matter. And then she's like, don't worry about it. I like you for you. And she's like, Velma says, I'm me, and that's the best that I can be is me. And Patrick's like, I've always liked you for being you. And they start smooching, and yay, Patrick and Velma. Eventually, chat, the mystery gang, they're all happy. Shaggy and Scooby, they get their self-confidence back because Fred, Daphne, Velma, it's like, no, you guys are fucking great. You always pull everything together. And they're like, yeah. And so then they go to the villains bar, chat, the faux mask, and they celebrate with all their former enemies, which I think is bullshit because they probably would have all killed them there. Maybe that would have happened, chat. Maybe that's the end credit stinger. And they're all celebrating again, dance number of Scooby-Doo, and he farts. Yay. And that, chat, is Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Listen. There are some funny moments in this film. Shaggy's very good in this. Matthew Lillard is very good. There's actually a great line in it where he says, oh, God, we're going to die. And she goes, why don't you try being positive, Shaggy? Like Velma says, why don't you try being positive, Shaggy? We're going to die quickly. So I like that. It was a good line. And there's another one where Shaggy goes, oh, God, this is the worst day of my life. And she goes, you say all the time. He's like, yeah, every other day is the worst day of my life. Like, that was pretty good. Like, there are occasional a couple lines that Matthew Lillard gets that are actually legitimately funny, chat. But this movie's fucking, I don't know. Like, I can't give it some old bullshit, but there's a lot of bad stuff in here. I guess it's slightly better than the original film, I guess. I mean, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, I could see it's like, hey, you're referencing some cool things. Some of the dialogues, I think, a little bit better than the original film. Velma gets more to do. Daphne gets more to do. Fred, I mean, Freddie Prinze Jr., he doesn't get really anything to do. So, yeah, I guess I give it just a straight, solid rental. If you have kids, they might like it, chat, but I would just show them Mystery Incorporated. I just show them one of the episodes of Scooby-Doo, honestly. You can do better than this. But yeah, to me, it's just a rental.